Welcome back to our channel. Last week a few photos circulated with soldiers in Guyana being fed by the President of Guyana, Dr. Irfan Ali. Numerous Guyanese took to social media to express their concerns over the images, where some stated it's disturbing for our soldiers to be allowed photographed being hand-fed by the Commander-in-Chief. Honorable Amanda Walton-Desir addresses these concerns. Here is what she had to say.
And what they will never understand is this act of feeding somebody barehanded cake. This symbolic intimacy and informality is inimical to the military culture. It is inimical, and that is why they're over there making a lot of noise, because it is beyond their comprehension what military culture requires, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, beyond the implications for our national security, those images display a serious disregard, sir, for protocol and for decorum. But they will make noise about it because they will never be able to understand. Mr. Speaker, while our soldiers have to be mentally preparing themselves for the times that we are in and to psychologically and physically defend our territorial integrity, those, Mr. Speaker, literal hand-to-mouth images, sir, of the commanders that are expected to command our troops making the wrongs in cyberspace is a problem. And they demean and undermine, Mr. Speaker, not only morale, but the authority of those in command of our military. And that is what they will never be able to understand. And Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, you know what is painful for me? And I said earlier, because I am a military child, I am the child of a military officer. And you know what is bothersome? Is that those very disquieting images are forever now in cyberspace, with all of the unsavory comments attacking our men and women in uniform. It is always there, sir, and it will not be removed. And it is a problem. And the fact that the members on the other side cannot comprehend that it is a problem means that we in this country are in serious trouble. Mr. Speaker, those images are now indelibly written into the military folklore, and there's nothing that we can do about it. Some of the crassest comments our men and women in uniform have had to be subjected to, simply because, Mr. Speaker, they do not understand the importance of military form, of military discipline. Mr. Speaker, look, veterans from all over the world are calling, MP, what is going on really? Because this is not the military that we know. They're looking for answers. They are searching, Mr. Speaker, and they continue to hope that this vital element of command is still in place. But nothing has been forthcoming. Not an explanation, not an apology has been forthcoming, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you know what is deeply concerning about this? And I'm glad the honorable members on the other side could say that it was a birthday and they were feeding cake, because it confirms that this was done in a controlled environment. It was in a controlled environment. And so we know whoever it was that took those photos, it happened in a controlled environment. Why were those images allowed to be published? Given the effect that they have had, who allowed and okayed it to be published? It is a problem for me, and it is deeply troubling for me, like I said, because I was brought up by a father that was a proud military officer. Who authorized those images to be leaked? What was the motivation for doing that? Could you not understand the effect it would have on our military men and women? But it is leaked. It is out there. What is the motivation for doing it? Why would you put our military men and women in such a position? Unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. Mr. Speaker, you know what that does? Is that it blurs a line. It blurs a very important line. And that line has to be maintained. That line between civilian and military operation must be maintained. It has to be maintained, Mr. Speaker. An apolitical military is a cornerstone of a democratic society. And when we see images like that, that call into question wittingly or unwittingly, that call into question the ability of our military to remain apolitical, we have to be concerned. The fact that the members on the other side could be making noise, I will repeat, is simply because they do not understand. They do not understand how deleterious those images are. And so they could sit there and they can talk and they can heckle. Mr. Speaker, we cannot blur the lines. There has to remain a realm of separation and distinction. Mr. Speaker, I will hasten to say that no commander-in-chief must put his military in that position. None. Mr. Speaker, I want us to understand that the fallout from this cake feeding fiasco, it must serve as a reminder. It must serve as a reminder, particularly to us who are in the political class. It must serve as a cautionary tale, Mr. Speaker. And let me be
please allow, I can't hear the honorable member presentation.
Mr. Speaker, I am making the point that the fallout from this fiasco, this cake feeding fiasco, it must be a cautionary tale to us, particularly us in the political class. And I do not care which party we are from. It has to be a cautionary tale. Do not tinker with our military. Do not tinker with our disciplined forces. Mr.
Thank you for watching. Let us know what you think about the photos circulating on social media. Stay tuned for more news updates. Please remember to like, share and subscribe for more updates.